If you're over 50 and you've noticed that mornings just aren't what they used to be, weaker erections, less stamina, cold hands and feet, even when you're drinking plenty of water, I need you to hear this. You're not broken. And it's not about low testosterone like everyone keeps telling you. What's actually happening is something most doctors won't even mention in your annual checkup. It's a circulation problem. And there's one natural compound that clinical studies show can reverse this decline in as little as 2 weeks. I'm Dr. Ava Thompson, and today I'm going to show you exactly why plain water stops working after 50, the single molecule that controls blood flow to every part of your body, and the simple 5-minute morning routine that's helping men in their 60s and 70s reclaim the energy and confidence they thought was gone forever. But here's the thing. Most guys get one critical step completely wrong, and it actually makes the problem worse. So if you want stronger mornings, more energy throughout the day, and to finally feel like yourself again, stay with me. Your vitality starts right here. You know, I want to tell you about something I see almost every single day in my practice. Men over 50 come in looking completely exhausted, frustrated really. They tell me they're drinking plenty of water, they're trying to stay active, they're doing all the things they've been told to do, but still they feel tired all the time. Their hands and feet are cold. Their mental focus just isn't what it used to be. And intimacy? Well, that's become a source of quiet worry instead of confidence. And here's what really gets me. Most of these guys think it's their fault. They think if they just pushed harder, drank more water, toughed it out, somehow they'd get back to feeling like themselves again. But I need to be really clear with you here. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about discipline. What you're experiencing is a biological shift that happens to virtually every man as he ages. And the reason water alone stops working after 50, it might actually surprise you. Look, we've all been taught that hydration equals health, right? Drink your 8 glasses a day, stay hydrated, and you'll be fine. But here's what that advice completely misses. Hydration is not the same thing as circulation. Think of it like this. Water is the vehicle, but it's not the engine. You can fill your car with the best fuel in the world, but if the engine isn't running right, you're not going anywhere. Your body works exactly the same way. You can drink all the water you want, but if your blood vessels aren't flexible enough to actually deliver that hydration, along with oxygen and nutrients, to where it needs to go, you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel cold, and you're going to notice things just don't work like they used to. And this brings me to something most men have no idea is happening inside their bodies. As we age, our blood vessels lose flexibility. They get stiffer, less responsive. There's this specific molecule, something called nitric oxide, that basically tells your blood vessels when to relax and open up. It's absolutely critical for circulation. Without enough nitric oxide, your vessels stay partially constricted, even when you're resting, even when you're drinking plenty of water. And this affects everything. Your energy drops because your cells aren't getting enough oxygen. Your hands and feet feel cold because blood flow is reduced. Your mental clarity suffers because your brain isn't getting optimal circulation. And yes, erectile function declines because that whole process is entirely dependent on blood flow. A lot of the men I work with have noticed these signs for years before they finally mention it. They'll bring it up almost casually, like it's just a normal part of getting older. Doc, I just don't have the energy I used to. Or, my wife keeps saying my hands are always freezing now. But here's what I really want you to understand. Early awareness leads to easier results. The sooner you recognize what's actually happening, the sooner you can address the real problem instead of just treating symptoms. So let me break down the single molecule at the center of all this. The real issue here, what I call the silent problem, is something called vascular aging. And I need you to really hear this. The problem isn't your hormones first, it's your blood flow. Now look, I know testosterone gets all the attention when we talk about men's health after 50. Supplement companies love focusing on it. But nitric oxide decline is actually one of the earliest measurable changes we see with aging. It starts happening in your 40s, sometimes even earlier, and it affects every single system in your body that depends on circulation, which is basically all of them. This is why I tell my patients, focus on vessel health before you start chasing quick fixes. Because if your circulation isn't working properly, no amount of hormones or supplements is going to make you feel the way you want to feel. Now, I'm going to simplify the science here. You don't need a medical degree to understand this, I promise. Think of nitric oxide as the open the pipes signal. When nitric oxide is present in good amounts, it tells the smooth muscle in your blood vessel walls to relax. When they relax, they widen. When they widen, more blood flows through. More oxygen reaches your tissues. More nutrients get delivered. Waste products get cleared away more efficiently. It's actually really elegant. This one molecule orchestrates so much of what makes you feel vital and strong. But here's the problem. The enzymes responsible for producing nitric oxide weaken as you age. Oxidative stress, basically cellular wear and tear, accelerates this decline. Inflammation, which increases with age, makes it worse. And certain lifestyle factors, like eating a lot of processed foods or chronic stress, put even more burden on a system that's already struggling. So the real question becomes, how do we support this system instead of trying to force it? And this is where nutrition, not medication, can actually step in. There's been some really fascinating clinical research on nitrate-rich plant compounds, particularly from beetroot. What we've learned is that these compounds bypass the weakened enzyme pathways entirely. When you consume beetroot powder, for example, the nitrates convert through bacteria in your mouth and gut into usable nitric oxide. It's a completely different pathway than the one that's declined with age. This is why certain powders work better than pills. The conversion process actually begins in your mouth. And this is also why I tell patients, avoid antibacterial mouthwash if you're using these supplements. You're literally killing the bacteria that help you produce nitric oxide. But here's the thing, not all powders help. Some actually make things worse. So what makes a circulation supporting powder actually effective? 3 things: quality, standardization, and simplicity. Clinical trials have shown measurable improvements in blood flow within 1 to 2 weeks when the right products are used. But the key word there is right. I've seen patients waste money on products that are either underdosed, loaded with sugar, or so poorly made that they offer basically no real benefit. You want to look for products that are low in sugar, because sugar spikes insulin, and insulin actually blocks nitric oxide production. You want nitrate levels that are standardized, so you know you're getting a consistent therapeutic dose. And you want simplicity. Avoid those formulas with 15 different ingredients where you can't even tell what's actually doing the work. Now, let me talk about the mistakes I see men make almost every week in my practice. The first one is this: drinking more water and expecting more energy. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a patient say, "Doc, I started drinking a gallon of water a day and I actually feel worse, not better." Here's why. Overhydration without minerals dilutes your electrolyte balance. Your cells need specific signals to function properly. Pure water doesn't provide that. In fact, if you're drinking massive amounts of plain water without any functional nutrients alongside it, you can actually feel more sluggish, more foggy, even more tired. The fix? Pair your hydration with functional nutrients. Think about what your circulation actually needs, not just volume. The second mistake is even more common, and honestly, it frustrates me because it's so easily avoidable. Using sugary performance powders. I see this all the time. Men buy these brightly colored supplements that promise energy, stamina, better workouts. And then they wonder why they're not seeing results. Or worse, why they feel great for an hour and then crash hard. Here's what's happening. Sugar spikes your insulin, and insulin, unfortunately, blocks nitric oxide production. So you're taking a supplement specifically designed to improve circulation, but you're packaging it with something that directly undermines the very thing you're trying to support. A lot of these popular mixes completely cancel out their own benefits. It's like taking one step forward and two steps back. The fix is simple. Choose unsweetened or very lightly sweetened options. If it tastes like candy, it's probably not doing what you think it's doing. Now, timing also matters way more than most men realize. This is mistake number 3, taking it at the wrong time of day. I've had patients tell me they mix their circulation powder into their evening routine, maybe after dinner or before bed, thinking it'll help them recover overnight. And then they come back confused because their sleep is messed up, or they're noticing their blood pressure feels off in the morning. Here's the thing. These compounds do increase blood flow. That's the whole point. But if you're taking them in the evening, especially if you already have blood pressure considerations, you may be creating unnecessary ups and downs when your body is trying to wind down for sleep. Morning or pre-activity timing shows much better consistency in the research and in my clinical experience. Your body is naturally primed for activity earlier in the day. Circulation support works with that rhythm, not against it. The fix? Start earlier in the day. Mix it with your morning routine. Let it support you through your active hours, not interfere with your rest. And there's one group of men who need extra caution here. Mistake number 4, and this one is critical. Ignoring medications and existing health conditions. If you're on blood pressure medications, especially ACE inhibitors or certain nitrate-based medications for heart conditions, you absolutely must talk to your physician before adding a circulation supplement. The combination can cause blood pressure to drop too low too quickly, and that's dangerous. I cannot stress this enough. I'm not anti-supplement, far from it. I recommend them regularly when they're appropriate. But I am very pro-safety and very pro-physician awareness. Your doctor needs to know what you're taking, period. The fix? Always cross-check supplements with your doctor, especially if you're managing any cardiovascular condition or taking prescription medications. So, how do you actually use this safely day to day? Let me walk you through it. A simple daily circulation routine takes about 5 minutes. That's it. Consistency beats intensity every single time. I've seen men completely transform how they feel with something as straightforward as mixing 1 scoop of quality beetroot powder with water once a day, first thing in the morning. A lot of my patients notice warmth returning to their hands and feet first, then stamina during the day, then other improvements they weren't necessarily expecting but are very happy about. You know what I mean. The routine itself is almost embarrassingly simple. Measure your powder, mix it with 8 to 12 ounces of water, drink it down. Ideally, do this 30 to 60 minutes before any activity, whether that's a workout, a walk, or just your normal day. Give your body time to convert those nitrates into usable nitric oxide. But don't expect overnight miracles. Real, sustainable improvements come in stages. And I want to set realistic expectations for you because this isn't a magic pill. This is biology. Your body needs time to respond. In the first 7 to 14 days, most men notice improved circulation. Their hands and feet feel warmer. They might notice a little more mental clarity, a bit less afternoon fatigue. It's subtle at first, but it's real. By 3 to 4 weeks, endurance starts improving. You can walk longer without feeling winded. You have more stamina throughout the day. And confidence? That starts coming back too, especially if erectile function has been a concern. Blood flow improvements show up everywhere, not just in one area. Here's my advice. Track the subtle wins, not just performance metrics. Notice when you feel more present, more engaged. Notice when you're not reaching for that third cup of coffee just to get through the afternoon. Notice when intimacy feels less like a source of stress and more like connection again. Those are the markers that actually matter. Now, this works best when paired with one lifestyle habit that really multiplies the results: light movement. Specifically, walking after you take your supplement. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to spend an hour in the gym. 10 to 15 minutes of walking after you've had your circulation powder actually amplifies the nitric oxide effect. Movement stimulates the endothelium. That's the lining of your blood vessels. And it enhances the conversion process. Think of it as priming the pump. You're giving your body the raw materials with the supplement, and then you're activating the system with gentle movement. The combination is way more powerful than either one alone. And honestly, most of my patients actually enjoy this part. It's not grueling. It's not punishment. It's just a short walk, maybe around the neighborhood, maybe with your dog, maybe just to clear your head before the day really begins. But the physiological benefit is significant. Let me leave you with something important. Aging is not the end. I need you to really hear that. What you're experiencing, the fatigue, the cold hands and feet, the performance issues, these are signals. Your body is telling you it needs support. It's not telling you to give up. And here's what I've seen over and over again in my practice. The body still responds when it's supported correctly, even at 60, 70, 80 years old. I have patients in their 70s who have gotten back energy and vitality they thought was gone forever. Not because they found some miracle cure, but because they addressed the actual underlying issue: circulation. I want you to reframe how you think about aging. It's not decline, it's adaptation. Your body is adapting to changes, and your job is to adapt your support system to match. That might mean adjusting your nutrition. It might mean adding targeted supplements. It might mean moving a little more consistently. But it absolutely does not mean accepting defeat. Start small, stay consistent. Stay curious about what your body is telling you. And if you found this helpful, I really encourage you to subscribe. I share evidence-based guidance on men's health because I believe you deserve information that's actually rooted in science, not marketing hype. You deserve to feel strong and vital, no matter what your age says on paper. Take care of yourself. Your body is still capable of remarkable things when you give it what it needs. So if you want stronger mornings, more energy throughout the day, and to finally feel like yourself again, stay with me. Your vitality starts right here.